Bam. My peoples. My peoples. Y'all already know who this is. Jay Smith in the flesh. And let me do a quick live take too. This is Jay Smith in the flesh. This is Box Center, your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. We talking about Jaron. We talking about Jaron Boost Ennis and Eimantas Stanionis. Fight's coming up. Is it in 8 days? Something like that. Let me see. That fight is coming up real soon. And listen, a lot of people, that's on April 12th. A lot of people, I feel like, are underestimating Eimantas Stanionis, talking about like Boost is just going to wash him. It's not going to be that easy, folks. It's not going to be that easy. JJ Sendejas, first one in the building. What's the deal, my G? Man, we kicking this thing off with Stanionis and Boots. I think it's going to be a lot more competitive than what many fans think. I've seen a lot of folks saying that Boots is just going to knock him out and it's going to get him out of there. It's going to wash him. Easy work. That's the vocabulary that I've been hearing. You got to talk about that. I don't think so. I don't think people understand the type of fighter that Stanionis actually is. But come April 12th, they're going to find out. They are going to be put on. Yo, listen to this. Well, I'm not even going to say about that. No, we're not ready for that news just yet. Just business. Sup, my nigga? Ennis got mob dude. I got Ennis in 6. Bulls better work on his defense for dude, though. I don't think it's going to be that easy, my guy. I really don't. You're going to find out. Eimantas Stanionis is a lot better. That if you think Boost is going to just wash him, mop him and all that, that's not what you're going to get, my brother. It's not going to go. I'm trying to tell you, it's not going to go down like that. JJ's in the house. Boost should win, but it's going to be tested pretty good. TP Versal. Yo, man, what's the deal, bro? LLYY, we're back. We in the building, my G. You already know what it is. TP Versal. We talking boxing, my G. You know it. Trying to see what y'all think about Jaron Boost Ennis versus Eimantas Stanionis. That's a better fight than most people think, bro. Real talk, my peoples. Real talk. Team Giban Blogs. What the? Yeah, what the? It's a lot better fight than a lot of people think. John Parham, what's the deal, my G? My peoples, hit that like button, man. Don't be cheap with me. Y'all already know what it is. This is Box Center. This is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. I'm trying to tell you, my people, so that you know what to expect. Eimantas Stanionis is an elite level fighter, my peoples. I'm trying to tell y'all. Boost is not just gonna wash him. It's not just gonna, steamroll over him in a couple of rounds. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting showdown, my people. It's gonna be a good fight. A tough one. Oh my fuck, do you like Image Dragons? We talking boxing, my brother. We're not talking about dragons. What the hell you talking about? WWE fan, Jake Paul. Well, Jake Paul was trying to get a fight with Gervonta Tank Davis. And supposedly, if Tank Davis would have beat Roach on that night, they was going to try to make something happen for themselves. But maybe Lamar Roach fumbled the bag for Tank. Hendra Andariash. Similar to mop racer Valentino Rossi. Whoa. MotoGP racer. Jesus Christ, yo. We on the wrong channel up in here. This is boxing, my people. JJ's in the house. Boost going to be tested. And then we will know where Boost is at in his development. I mean, look. I honestly do expect Boost to win this fight. But still, man. Eimantas Stanionis has the tools and resources to pull off the upset. This is the anatomy of an upset, when we all believe this guy's going to win and they get beat. WWE fan, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was a great boxer in his time. Facts. LOYY. Bro, there are so much trolls and random people on this stream. I don't know what the hell is going on. They want to talk about, they roll up in here wanting to talk about everything but boxing. Jesus Christ. But that's a fight that I was actually going to talk about earlier today, and I had to end the stream ahead of time. But I was going to talk about that fight, because we were talking about Conor Ben and Chris Eubank Jr., but this fight is even closer because Conor Ben and Chris Eubank Jr. is on the 26th, I believe. And Boots versus Stanionis, that's 8 days from now. In 8 days, Boots and Stanionis going to be going at it. Man, I can't wait for that fight. I just can't wait. John Parham, they about to get cooked. Yeah, they definitely about to get cooked. Seasoned and cooked. JJ's in their house. Is there going to be a fight this weekend with Dragons? What the fuck? What? I don't know. People show up talking about Dragons and I don't know what else. Ernest Morales, saludos. Boots is a great fighter, but he has the fans have been expecting more. We're going to see. A fight like this can actually give us more from Boots because he may have to reach out deep into that bag of tools and show his entire arsenal. Sometimes fighters, they don't have to pull all of the tools out of the bag because they can handle it with that 1, 2, 3. But in this case, Stanionis, he's a guy that can fight. He's going to push Boots. And like I said, man, it's going to be a competitive one. It's not going to be a simple fight where Boots just going to wash him. John Parham, you just made a count 2 weeks ago. John Parham, I'd rather hear about Dragons than AJ. At least, man, god damn. Hatter's going crazy, man. Shit. But let me know what y'all think, man. So there's this fight with Boots that, if he is successful, we're all going to want him to fight Brian Norman Jr. next. Y'all know that's how he's going to segue. We're going to want him to segue into Brian Norman Jr. LOYY J. Smith. 5 minutes before your pro fight, what was going on in your mind and how you was feeling? I was feeling good. I was feeling positive. I was excited. I was nervous. You feel nervous even when they call your name, when they tell you, 15 minutes, you're up. Because they don't just call you to go up. Somebody comes and let you know that in 15 minutes they're going to call your name. So, I was nervous, but also super excited. And I would say I felt those butterflies up until we went face-to-face in the ring. Once we went face-to-face and the referee was giving instructions, that's it. I was ready to go. The nerves just disappeared, and it's time to fight. But again, my peoples, if Boots is able to win versus Eimantas Stanionis, should he fight Brian Norman Jr. next? That's the magic question. JJ's in the house. Boxing, everyone. Let's go hit that like button. Hell yeah, man. I got 6 likes up in here. Why y'all gotta do me like this, man? Hit that like button, my peoples. Hello, why? You wasn't shaking? Nah. I wasn't shaking. I mean, I don't think, I've ever seen anyone shaking, right about to fight. I mean, it's okay to be nervous, but you're not going to be nervous to the point where you're shaking, But I will say, when you're about to fight, you feel a certain level of nerves. And once you step in the ring, it's a wrap. It's go time. You're ready to go. If you know that you trained, that, you had a good training camp. I felt good. I felt confident going in. I wasn't underestimating my opponent or anything like that. And, I think that's a very similar process for every fighter. That they feel a little bit nervous, and then it's time to fight. LOYY. But it's a moment for life, though. You're so blessed to have that debut. Hell yeah. I'm super happy about it. I'm glad that I was able to debut and finally fight as a professional, which is, I always wanted to do that. JJ's in their house. Is that Mr. Jenny and her uncle talking about dragons? It could be. It could be, man. You never know. But my peoples, like we was talking about earlier today, Andy Cruz sent an offer to Abdullah Mason, yo. And a lot of people, I said that Abdullah Mason and his team, they shouldn't take that offer. I don't feel like he's ready to step up like that. And a lot of the people who chimed in during that live agreed with me. It was like, nah, there's no rush. They shouldn't, fight somebody of that level at this point in his career. He's only 20 years old. But there were a couple of people in the stream who say, you know what? I feel like Abdullah is ready and he should take that fight. I don't know. I don't like the idea of a 20-year-old Abdullah Mason fighting Andy Cruz. How old is Andy Cruz? Like 26 or something like that? I don't know. I don't feel like Abdullah's ready for that action just yet. Ernest Morales. This morning, it was reported that Booth said that he's not interested for a Norton fight. I mean, I have to hear it from him. The it was reported thing, we can't go by that because reports, sometimes people make stuff out of thin air and report that. So if I don't see Boots in an interview saying it out of his own mouth or his father saying it, I'm not trying to hear that. People be making stuff up out of thin air, yo. JJ's in the house. Take your time, young man. LOYY, I'm excited for Chris versus Ben. There is so much promotion going on for that fight. I got my money on Chris, but your opinion is what I'm going with. It's going to be a good fight, man. It's going to be a competitive fight. I do have Conor Ben winning by destruction, by just a devastating knockout. That's the type of energy Conor Ben is bringing in, and I believe him. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens between Conor Ben and Ryan Garcia. I don't know if y'all know it or if y'all seen it, but Conor Ben and Ryan Garcia was, it got chippy between them. They was going back and forth in a party for the Ring magazine, and there was even a little shove. Conor Ben pushed him, and Ryan Garcia was all up in his face still. So, I don't know. Maybe something could happen with that. Maybe we could get, at the end of the year, Ryan Garcia versus Conor Ben. Or not at the end of the year, because I think if Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney win their fights, they're going to fight each other at the end of the year. But maybe next year, we can get that fight with Conor Ben and Ryan Garcia. JJ's in the house. Yes, you don't hear it from the horse's mouth. It's cool, but 50-50 chance is true. I want to see it, because the last time I heard Boots talk about it, he wanted that fight. So I got to hear it from them because, if Boots wants to become undisputed at the welterweight division, he got to go through Brian Norman Jr. He got to go through him. There's no getting around it. And Boots has been very consistent with saying that he wants to be undisputed in the division. So for somebody to report that he's no longer or that he's not interested in that fight, I got to hear it from him or his pops. Then I'm like, okay, good money. LOYY, Ryan versus Garcia. No way this fight gonna happen. I'll check what happened between those two. Ryan versus Garcia. Oh, Ben versus Garcia. I don't know, man. That's a fight that can happen. Don't get it twisted. You gotta remember, both of them do business with Eddie Hearn. Well, not with Eddie Hearn because Ryan Garcia is with Golden Boy. But he fights on the zone. And I know that they'll be able to do business, Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya to make that fight happen. LOYY, but Ryan will hurt him so fast. You see? That's why I tell you, don't inject your opinion as if it's fact. Because you got to remember, Ryan Garcia is the guy moving up. You don't know that Ryan will hurt him so fast. That's just speculation, my brother. And you see, that's a little bit extreme, LOYY. The reason I tell you that's extreme, we never seen Conor Ben hurt in his career bad. So to assume that this guy's just going to come and hurt him bad is crazy. If a fighter is undefeated and never been stopped, it's crazy to just say, oh, this guy's going to hurt him so bad. Like, people say that all the time, and it's like, what exactly have you seen from Conor Ben to suggest that he's going to be hurt quickly so bad? The guy's never been hurt. And he can take a shot. Ernest Morales. Ryan is still growing, so a future fight versus Ben is not out of the question. Well, I think it's going to happen. I don't know how quick, but Conor Ben, the thing about Conor Ben is that because of his height, he's moving up to fight Chris Eubank, but I believe he's gonna go right back down and stay at welterweight. I believe his career plays out mostly at welterweight. So I think him and Ryan Garcia are gonna end up meeting up. I see it playing out that way. Um, and look, Conor Ben, I don't know why he seems to be underrated. Maybe the inactivity, maybe people don't remember how he fights, the aggressiveness, the destructiveness in his style, but we got to see it happen. JJ said that some guys can't bring their power when they move up. We're going to see. That's true. In fact, if you keep moving up in weight, it's inevitable that you're going to end up running into a division where that's it, you can't hurt guys anymore. It's going to happen. If you look at even the old-time greats who started at a lower division and kept moving up, 3 divisions, 4, maybe even 5 divisions, the knockout stopped. Look at Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya, when he moved up past welterweight, that's it. He stopped knocking people out. It was over. That's it. He had to go the distance with them and beat them by points. And even Floyd Mayweather, most of his stoppages came before he went up to welterweight, when he was in the 130s, when he was at 126. But if you look at Floyd Mayweather at 147, he didn't stop that many opponents. So I think it's the inevitable, you move up in weight and you can't stop guys anymore. You're fighting bigger opponents who are used to taking shots from people who are bigger and stronger than you. JJ Zendejas, it happens even to the best of them. I'm telling you, you can't just keep moving up and keep knocking people out at every division. That's why I say Manny Pacquiao, the stuff about he stopped knocking people out because, he wasn't on steroids anymore. That's crazy. If you look at his record, the moment he went up to the welterweight division, he stopped knocking people out. His knockout percentage went down. Why? Because Manny Pacquiao was a small dude, and he wasn't able to stop those bigger opponents that he was facing in the welterweight division. He was able to beat them. Look at Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman. He dropped Keith Thurman, but he couldn't stop him. At no point in that fight, it looked like, oh shit, he's going to stop him. He's going to stop him. Nah, he caught him with a good shot and dropped him. But Keith was able to get back up and keep fighting. And even if you notice throughout that whole fight, there was no point in time when Keith Thurman was like running or surviving, or Keith Thurman actually picked up the pace and started landing his own big shots on Manny Pacquiao. It was a close fight. At the end of the day, it was a split decision. I thought Manny Pacquiao should have won by unanimous decision. But still, Keith Thurman fought a good fight after getting dropped. If you look at those last 4 or 5 rounds, Keith Thurman was in there trading. So that's what happens. Manny Pacquiao, a great fighter, but as he was moving up in divisions, because he's a smaller guy, he couldn't stop those big opponents. Now, we have to see what's going to happen with Conor Ben and Chris Eubank. Is Conor Ben going to bring his power upstairs? I believe so. I believe so, my peoples. That's what I'm telling y'all. I got Conor Ben knocking out Chris Eubank. I know it sounds crazy, but I just feel like that's how it's going to play out. JJ's in the house. Thurman looked like, to me, like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah, he wasn't expecting that. He got up looking confused, like, oh, shit. That's when he realized Manny Pacquiao wasn't, washed up like he thought. Because remember, throughout the training camp, you washed up. The little T-Rex arms. He was dissing Manny. Oh, look, those little T-Rex arms. Oh, them little T-Rex arms dropped you. How you looking goofy as hell. But we have to see it, man. We have to see how it's going to play out. And look, that's why I've been telling people, sometimes boxing, and that's what makes it interesting. It doesn't play out the way you thought it would. Things don't happen the way you thought they were going to happen. We could get some surprises, man. Bulls and Stanionis, I'm telling y'all, Eimantas Stanionis is a walking upset alert. And I'm not telling you that he's going to upset Jaron Boots Ennis. Boots is my guy. To me, he's one of the best fighters right now. And he just needs to, get some names under his belt so, he could get his name up. But Boots is that guy, my people. Gabe Rivera, dímelo, ¿qué es lo que, manito? Tú sabes, activo. JJ Zendejas, styles make fights. That's a fact. It's all about the styles. And I think that Eimantas Stanionis has a style that's going to be tough for Boost to decipher. That's why I say it's going to be a competitive fight, a tough fight, and let the chips fall where they may. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good one, my peoples. And again, when it comes to Abdullah Mason and Andy Cruz, we have to see how that's going to develop. I think most of the people chiming in on this subject have said that Abdullah Mason is not ready for that type of fight. And I agree 100% with that. Abdullah Mason, young, tough, strong, gifted, very skilled fighter. Got that ring IQ, got that power, for a 20-year-old, you can see the power, that natural ability to counter punch. He's such a good counter puncher. I just think that Abdullah Mason has to take his time, but he's going to get there. Hello, Luke. Hello, boxing fans. Hello, Jay Smith. I'm here new to this channel. I like your honesty and knowledge about our sport of boxing. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you dropping in, Luke. I really do, and I appreciate the compliment. I do the best I can with sharing my opinion, sharing my takes, sharing my knowledge, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So, Luke, I'm asking you the magic question. Let me put you on the spot, bro. Andy Cruz and Abdullah Mason. Should Abdullah Mason turn down that offer? What do you think about that? I believe that he should. I know I've had some people saying that they feel like Abdullah Mason can beat Andy Cruz. I don't think he's ready just yet at only 20 years old. I think that would be a huge step up for him. But what do you think, my brother? And what does everyone else think? It's only a few of us up here, but what do you guys think? Should Abdullah Mason not take that fight? Luke, I believe that he should 100%. There you have it. You see? There's people that believe that he should take that fight because, winning that title over Andy Cruz, that will shoot him into stardom in a different level. JJ Zendejas. It would be quite a future fight. It would be a great future fight. Okay. So, for my taste, I believe that Abdullah Mason to fight somebody like Andy Cruz, I think he should wait like 1, maybe even 2 more years. That development process. Because Andy Cruz, man, he's sharp. He's polished. So it's tough to get, a young bull up against a guy like that. LLYY. I believe that he should. Everything of the day. JJ's in the house. Maybe 2 or 3 more years. And look, everybody's development process is not the same. Everybody's not ready at the same time. So is Abdullah Mason ready for that type of challenge like Andy Cruz? I don't know. But in my opinion, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's ready. I think you put him up against a guy like that, and he's going to lose that fight. You're setting him up to lose. So, but we're going to see. We're going to see. I think that we'll find out soon enough whether or not they accept that offer. I think, and you know what? I think that Abdullah Mason has a real good team behind him, and he got smart folks behind him. And for that reason, I think that they're going to make the right decision. They're not going to take that fight. I think that they're not going to take it. Gabe Rivera, Mason is a great prospect. He still has a few holes in his skill set. I think Abdullah Mason, his offensive firepower is crazy. I think he does have a few kinks in the armor when it comes to his defense. Sometimes he could get a little bit irresponsible when he gets on the inside, especially when he hurts an opponent. He gets a little bit impatient. He want to tee off on him. And sometimes he eats some shots that I feel like he shouldn't. So for that reason, I think that he's not ready for a guy like Andy Cruz, who's so sharp, so seasoned. We already know Andy Cruz got that ring IQ is off the chart. His defense is crazy. Offense off the charts. Luke, I want to get your opinion on the Canelo versus Jake fight that everyone's saying could happen, sir. So Canelo versus Jake Paul, Honestly, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I think Canelo used Jake Paul just so that he could negotiate with His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh. Kind of like, look, man, I got Jake Paul. I could fight him for a lot of money. So let me get a 2-fight deal, and then we can make it happen. And that's how he was able to get that 2-fight deal, to fight Skull first and then fight Terrence Crawford in September. I don't think Canelo, honestly, because you got to understand, a lot of the people that is getting in the ring with Jake Paul, they looking for that bag. They looking for that career payday. Canelo doesn't need Jake Paul. You know, he's already the face of boxing. He's already the highest paid fighter. So he don't really need it. He spoke about that a lot, that, you know, that's a circus show, and he's not trying to be part of that circus. So I don't even think that fight is going to happen, to be honest. JJ Sendejas, he gets reckless. Yeah, sometimes he can get reckless. Luke, I subscribe and I like and share. Can't wait for 1,000 subscribers celebration. Appreciate it, my brother. We actually hit 1,000 subscribers about 2 weeks ago, I think. So the next benchmark is 2,000 subscribers, and eventually we headed for the million, my brother. Luke, I'm telling you, you just got into what's going to be the #1 boxing channel, period. This is going to be the #1 live in boxing. No getting around it. It's only the inevitable. Nah, I mean 100,000. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, I see it, 100,000. Yeah, definitely, my brother. 100,000, 200,000. We headed for the million. We doing that, my brother. Hell yeah. D Willer, fresh off the clock, tuned in, my G. What's the deal, D Willer? So first of all, what do you think about, Andy Cruz sending an offer to Abdullah Mason? Should Abdullah Mason's team decline that offer? He's only 20 years old. And Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. How does that fight play out? And of course, Jaron Boost Ennis and Eimantas Stanionis. I'm telling you, my peoples, that fight is going to be a lot more interesting than people think. The Boost is not just going to wash him and get him out of there in 2-3 rounds. I have people telling me, yo, yeah, Boost going to knock him out early. That guy, we don't know him. Sometimes it's them guys that you don't know that surprise you, bro. That's real right there. JJ's in the house. And look, you're a part of it. Welcome. Hell yeah. D Willer, yeah, we already know. Ernest Morales, wasn't it a 4-fight deal? I don't know. To my understanding, the deal was to fight in Cinco de Mayo weekend and then fight Crawford in September. So I don't know about the 4-fight deal. Look, I am 51 years old and I own a boxing gym, helping the kids build up themselves, and I will show them your channel to get some inspiration and real boxing knowledge rather than all these YouTubers nowadays. Oh, I appreciate it, Luke. First of all, salute to you for working with the kids, working with the future generations. You never know if you have a champion in your gym right now, because sometimes that's how it plays out. A kid in a gym of somebody that's trying to help the kids, before you know it, they become a world champion. So salute to you, my brother. I got all the respect in the world for people to work in the boxing community, and especially helping out the kids. D Willer, I think they should decline, but I do think Mason could upset bro. He definitely has the skills he's just young right now. Honestly, I don't think Abdullah Mason at 20 years old is ready to step in the ring with somebody like like Andy Cruz. Because it's like I said, sometimes you see a young fighter get a title by fighting for something that's vacant. Or they fight a champion who won a vacant title but who isn't at that top level. We have to understand, Andy Cruz is at the highest level when it comes to his skill set. And Abdullah Mason, I think he's going to be there. He's going to be there. Abdullah Mason is a special fighter. He's going to go on to do some big things. But at 20 years old, I believe he's not ready for that type of action. JJ Sendejas, yes, that's why I'm here, too. I'm older guy, and I don't have time for all the other silly bullshit channels. Oh, man, listen. This is part of the reason why I said I'm doing boxing, and I'm doing my own boxing channel, because I was tired of the bullshit. I was tired of the clickbait. I was tired of the people capping. And I don't knock nobody, but y'all know it. There's a lot of people with boxing channels that don't know shit about boxing, with some don't know shit about boxing type of opinions. Luke, yes sir, I'm not doing it for the money at all. I just got this sport in my heart, and I take the kids training so serious and focus on boxing and leave the streets. Thank you so much, sir. Now, my brother, listen, you joining this community, you're super appreciated, my brother, because I know that you're somebody who loves the sweet science. You actually love the sport of boxing. You're doing something about helping the kids. So much appreciated. Salute to you, my guy. D. Willer. That's why I keep telling you, don't switch up on us, OG, when you blow. Nah, listen. I've been telling y'all, because I am gonna blow up. That shit is just like, I'm not trying to be cocky or nothing. I don't want you to take it like that. But eventually it's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna come knocking on my door wanting to holler at me. And I promise you, when that happens, I'm always gonna remember the first people who subscribed to the channel, the first 1,000 people, the first group of people that was in every single live. Why? Because at some point it's so many people that's gonna be getting in the live that you can't remember everybody, but you remember those first people that was there when you was a nobody, when nobody knew about you. I had somebody tell me the other day, yo, Jay, you're like, remember when sliced bread, before it was released? Because everybody in the whole world loves sliced bread one way or another, whether it's French toast, whether it's, a sandwich. Sliced bread is one of the most famous type of bread in the world, right? And somebody told me, yo, at one point somebody invented sliced bread and they had it as a secret. Like, yo, wait till they release this sliced bread. We're going to blow up. And I'm sliced bread. Somebody actually told me that, yo, Jay, you're sliced bread before they released it. They're going to find out, my peoples. It's the inevitable. They're going to find out about me. LOYY. Thank you so much, Luke, for helping the kids and being an amazing man. That's facts. That's facts. We gotta, Luke, we gotta plug you in, Luke. We gotta plug you in, Luke. Much respect to you, my brother. JJ Sendejas, Jay Smith. Have you heard Robert Garcia is getting an award soon for Trainer of the Year? I was not aware of that, but I will tell you, Robert Garcia is somebody that I have a lot of respect for. He's one of those trainers who's been around for a while, trained a lot of champions. So we already know Robert Garcia has that pedigree. Plus, he was a fighter too. He was a world champion himself. So I respect it. Now, I always say, Bomac is my favorite trainer. If it was up to me, Bomac would have been Trainer of the Year multiple times already. Multiple times. Ozzy, Hall of Fame trainer. Yeah, Robert Garcia is going to the Hall of Fame as a trainer, for a fact. For a fact. JJ Sendejas, he has a new gym, a new boxing gym. Listen, Robert Garcia, he's trained a lot of champions. A lot of people have gone to work with him, even temporary. And, he's that guy. He's one of them dudes that he's a special trainer. So he's trained a lot of world champions and he's developed world champions. And I believe that he's going to keep doing that. He's going to keep doing that. You know who is not spoken about a lot as a trainer, but he's doing his thing? Fernando Vargas, my peoples. Fernando Vargas is not being talked about at all as a trainer. But look at his kids. Look at, Emiliano Vargas. That boy is headed for a title shot. I mean, all three of his kids are nice. But I think Emiliano Vargas is the oldest one. Bro, Fernando Vargas can, his kids can fight. Ozzy, Emiliano Vargas a beast. I'm trying to tell you, bro. I'm trying to tell you. Soon enough, I think that Fernando Vargas is going to start getting credit as a trainer. Not just, as the fighter that he was. Fernando Vargas was a special fighter. And something, now that I mentioned Fernando Vargas, think about this, my peoples. He was like 21, 22 also, maybe even 20, when they put him to fight Tito Trinidad. And he dropped Trinidad, but he ended up losing that fight. He took a lot of punishment, and he got dropped brutally. And then they put him against Oscar De La Hoya. Too young. Too young. Like he faced the two best boxers, two pound for pound fighters when he was in his early 20s. Who does that? But that's so you could see the type of lion heart that he had, the type of warrior that Fernando Vargas was. JJ's in the house. Fernando came out of Robert Dad's gem. JJ's in the house. Fernando Jr. is the oldest of the boys. Ah, okay, okay. And Fernando Jr. is nice too, by the way. He nice. Luke, I'm starting to watch women's boxing. I've never gave it a go, but it's amazing and so underrated. Let me tell you something, Luke. This is the right place to talk about it as well. Everybody here knows I support women's boxing 100%. I give them their flowers every time because, you know, us, because I'm 46 years old, by the way, and I think we've seen the progression. Like women's boxing back in the day, you would have almost labeled it as boring. Not because the girls couldn't fight, but they were not as sharp as they are today. Today, these girls, they look like the guys. How sharp they look in there. Before, it was kind of like, if you look at the girls that were legends back in the day, they were like Rock'em Sock'em Robot. Like, boom, 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 we could hit each other. But you didn't see, you know, that ring IQ, that ring movement, that footwork, those hands, those mechanics. So now the girls, they're a lot more fun to watch. And I'm telling you, we watch those fights. By the way, Luke, I always go live for all the big fights. If it's a big fight, I'm over here going live and giving you the play-by-play. Trust me, my brother. I announce those fights like nobody does. Luke, what do you think about the transgender rule in the 2028 Boxing Olympics? There are so much rules going to happen. Well, listen. As Donald Trump stated, because remember, the 2028 Olympics will be in the United States. And Donald Trump said that he will not allow transgender athletes to compete against women. I'm with that 100%. I believe that there is going to be some controversy because the transgender who won the gold medal in the 2024 games, she said that she's going to compete in the 2028 games. But Donald Trump already said he won't allow it. So this whole situation might end up in court where the transgender athlete is going to sue to try to compete in the Olympics. Donald Trump is going to push back. I'm not with it. I don't want to see transgender compete against women at all. I'm not with that. JJ said that has girls look like they have better skills these days. I agree 100%. They're more entertaining to watch now than they were before. JJ's in their house. No more trans fighting, no more. Facts. Gabe Rivera. You see, we all spoke and we all agree on that. Girls versus girls. Put the transgender, look for some more transgender so they can all fight each other. LB Marshall, Box Center in the building, the #1 boxing channel. Do not let transgender compete against women. Not fair. You see, we all agree. Yo, ever since I started this channel, only one person went up in here and tried to tell me, no, you don't know, when somebody's transgender, they do processes and their body's like a woman. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Their body's not like a woman. They're a man who feel like a woman. That's what they say. LLYY, yeah, you're right, Jay Smith. But Donald Trump is not going to be the president in 2028. So I think this is going to change, or they're going to sue Trump. The thing is that even though he's not going to be the president, but he's enacting laws that the next president would have to reverse. Now, if a Republican wins the presidency again, they're going to uphold that. They're not going to change that. So either the Olympic Committee is just not going to allow the trans to compete, or they're going to end up in court. D. Willer, right. Let them make their own league. That's what I'm talking about. Trans versus trans. Trans athletes don't need to be fighting women. Boxing NE, hi. What's the deal, my brother? Happy to have you on. But that's my take, man. I don't believe trans athletes should be able to fight against women in any combat sport. Not just boxing. No combat sport. You got the strength of a man. Come on now. And there, matter of fact, there was a woman that lost versus a transgender athlete before the gold medal match. And she said, yo, I felt like I was being hit by a man. I never been hit so hard. So there you have that. Boxing in the year. I want to see trans Marvin Hagler. Yo, man, them trans need to fight each other. I don't, and I tell you guys what, I always make it clear. I don't have a problem with the trans community. I don't, I don't have a problem with somebody wanting to be trans or being trans at all. I believe that people should live their life how they want to live it. You feel like you're a woman, go ahead and be a woman. I ain't got a problem with that. But I do have a problem when trans athletes want to compete versus women in physical sports, in combat sports, where you could really hurt somebody. Come on now. Come on now. Trans athletes should fight versus men or versus other trans. I'm good with that. You want to go fight men, you could do that. And I don't got no problem with it. D. Willer. Wait, how is Trump not going to be the president? I thought it was every 4 years. It is every 4 years, my brother. But Trump became the president in 2024. And I think it's early 2028 that they changed the presidency. It's about the month that it happens. Remember, the Olympics is in the summertime. And the election is early into the year. I'm telling you, when is the elections? Is it in the summertime? Because I thought the elections happened before the summer games. We have to get that sorted out. But the bottom line, I hope that the transgender athlete is not able to compete versus the women in the Olympics and in any event. Matter of fact, I was watching in fencing, with the sword, fencing. Yo, a girl refused to do fencing with a transgender athlete. She got disqualified from the tournament. How the hell you disqualify a girl for not wanting to compete against a dude? Stop it. JJ Sendejas in February. So you see, the presidency changes before the Olympics. Boxing Ennis. If he's trans, just make his hair more short and let them box in the men category. Boom! That's what I'm talking about. I don't have a problem with that. If the trans want to fight against the men, I have no problem with that. I'm perfectly fine with it. Tight Hell, hey man, how are you? I'm doing good, brother. Hi, from friendly Russia. Ooh, shout out to Russia. Bam, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in, man. We talking boxing over here. We talking boxing, my God. So most of us agree that Abdullah Mason should not take that offer from Andy Cruz. A few of us did say, yo, he should take it. I believe he could beat him. But I think most of us say, nah, don't take that fight. JJ's in there. Can you look back at my message in February? Oh. JJ's in their house. How would you guys like your daughter fight a transgender that can be twice as strong as her? Ah, you see what I'm saying? And it's for those people who say, yeah, I think it's fine. I think a transgender can fight the women. How would you like a transgender fighting your daughter? I don't think there's anyone here that would say, I'm okay with a transgender and my daughter going at it. Hell no. You don't want to see it. That's like, as a matter of fact, how would you like a transgender going in the bathroom with your daughter? Talk about, no, because I feel like a girl. Hell no. Not with it. D. Willer, where do you rank Roy Jones all time? I mean, it's hard for me to say all time because, that's not a list that you just make up in the top of your head and just throw anything out there. At least I'm responsible about that. I can't just throw a number. Oh, he's at 6. It's hard for me to rank them all time off the top of my head. But I would say Roy Jones Jr. is somebody who I'm putting probably in the top 20, top 25 all time. But I really have to think about it. I really have to. Tight Hell, I won't stop war. I don't know what you're talking about, my brother. We're not talking about war. We're talking about boxing. You're talking about something whole completely different. Hey, Boogie 616. It's more of the hard work for the put in to reach their goal and then be matched up with a gay dream shattered, with a guy dream shattered. And I was saying that in the last Olympics. Like, these young ladies who fight so hard, literally blood, sweat, and tears to represent their country, and then they show up having to fight a dude. That's crazy. That's crazy work. Look, I hope if there is going to be a protest in America to cancel the Olympic, if they allow transgenders in our country. I mean, like I said, I really don't have a problem with transgenders. I have a problem with transgenders competing versus women. I'm not with that at all. Real talk. Miss Bitch. That bitch was a man the whole time. The whole time. Come on now. And then and for a moment they had us all fooled. Like, oh no, she's a woman. She's actually a woman. They had us convinced and shit. That I even was apologizing out here like, oh my bad. She's actually a woman. She was born a woman. No, she a dude. Been a dude the whole time. LLYY. I'm going out for that protest. I'll be there. We don't want this here. Yo, I'm telling you, man, a lot of people not having it. Most people not having it. Talking about you're a transgender, you're going to compete with a woman. You was born a man. We all know you stronger. And could hit harder. And could take more punishment. Punisher. Can you read my comment? What's the deal, Punisher? Appreciate you dropping in, my brother. Punisher, I don't see nothing from you. Punisher. Punisher, if you can throw that comment in there again, because I didn't see it. I scrolled up and didn't see it anywhere, my brother. I got you. Let me know what you're talking about. Punish, I didn't post. Oh, all right. JJ's in the house. The girl that you were talking about that quit was the Italian girl. I felt sorry for her. Lost her chance of winning a medal. Yeah, man. But you know what? Even though she lost her chance at winning a medal, I support her. Listen, in my opinion, all women that are matched up against a transgender should refuse to compete. Refuse. All of them. LLYY. Most transgenders is not really into this stuff. They just can't compete against their same gender. Nah, I don't think so. I don't agree with you on that, my brother. And the reason I say that is because nobody's going to fake being transgender just so they could compete. Trust me. They are transgenders, and because of that, they feel like they should be allowed to compete versus the opposite sex. But I don't think somebody's going to go as far as, oh, well, I got beat with the male, so let me turn to a girl so I can win. I don't think nobody really does that. Michael Walker, Jay, what's good? What's good, my G? You already know it, man. We talking boxing, doing what we do. Punisher, did it post now? Nah, Punisher, I see you when you say I didn't post, and yeah, I figured, and what's up, bro? So I haven't seen anything else from you, my God. JJ Sendejas, I do too. She said those punches were too damn hard. Yeah. She said that she felt like she was being hit by a man, that she'd never been hit so hard. Of course you never been hit so hard. You fighting with a dude that's trying to knock your head off. Tajon, if you're talking about Khalil, she's a woman. Nah, she's not a woman, brother. She's a man. They got you fooled. They fooled all of us. Let me tell you why they try to say that she's a woman. Apparently, she's a hermaphrodite. She was born with both sexes. She was born with a penis and with a vagina, right? So, if she's born with both sexes, there's only one thing to determine, is that a man or a woman? Simple. Does he produce sperm, or can she become pregnant? Guess what? She can't have babies. She don't got a uterus. That's a man. Without a shredded out, that's a man. Strisher Stinkler, loser. Don't call yourself a loser, man. You see, you know that you're definitely a loser when you're randomly looking for YouTube channels to say loser. What a loser. Goofball. Let's get this goofy out of here. Tajon, what proof do you have of this? I mean, I've already looked into it. I already did my research. It's some even Oscar De La Hoya let that information out that this is a man. It's a dude. But if you need me to prove it to you, then you're free to believe whatever you want, my guy. I'm not trying to convince you. If you want to believe it's a woman, have at it. Michael Walker, give us your top 5 all time and then top 5 active. So look, top 5 all time it's too hard for me to just say it off the top of my head. I'll give you 3. I'll give you Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. I'm giving you those 3. Active right now, number 1, Terrence Bud Crawford. Number 2, Alexander Usyk. Number 3, Naoya Inoue. Number 4, Dimitri Bivol. I'm leaving it at that. That's a good top 4 right there. Punisher. If it didn't post this time, I'll write it. Just bear with me. Yeah, I don't see anything, my brother. My brother Punisher. The last one that I see from you is, damn, what the fuck did it post now? JJ Zendejas. Even if they cut that shit off, X and Y chromosome, Y is for women and X is for men. That's it, yo. A man is a man. No matter what. Now, if you feel like a woman, hey, that's on you. That's on you. D. Willer, no Canelo. Ooh. Listen, that Canelo Alvarez versus Skull fight coming up for the Cinco de Mayo weekend, a lot hinges on that fight. Because if Canelo get upset, no Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. So I need one Canelo to win that fight. Look, I just watched Tiara Brown become a champion. She's amazing. Yo, Tiara Brown is an amazing fighter. My prediction was that she's going to win the fight. I actually predicted that. I said, look, Scott Nicholson is a top-level fighter, elite-level fighter, but I feel like Tiara Brown, her style of boxing, the pressure that she put on you was going to be enough to overwhelm Scott Nicholson, and that's how it played out. Tiara Brown. Now, when you say you just watched Tiara Brown become a champion, did you watch that? Do you mean that you went to actually see the fight? Or you're talking about saw it on TV live? Punisher. Nah, I don't have a problem with them. I'm just focused on my life. But I'm trying to tell you, man, I don't have a problem with the transgender community. But all that shit that y'all gonna compete against the women, I'm not with it. I can't support you when it comes to that. D. Willer, dang, I need Canelo to win so you can see your best friend get his L. You're going to find out, D. Willer. I already told you. I hope your internet don't go dark. When Bud whoop that ass and I go live the next day in the morning, I hope your internet don't go down on you or some crazy shit like that. Don't disappear now. Boxing and E. Let's talk about sweet boxer like Pernell Whitaker, Sugar Ray Leonard. We talk about boxers from the old school, my brother, but right now we're talking about what's going on right now. There's a lot going on right now in boxing. But if you make a comment about any of those from back in the days, of course I'm going to respond to you. John Parham, nobody should support it. There's people out there that's actually supporting it. There's people out there saying that the trans dude should fight the women. Somebody tried to convince me of that. And there ain't no budging. I'm not with it. Gabe Rivera. And Bug gonna whip that ass. Oh, yeah. Terrence Crawford's gonna put the beats on Canelo Alvarez. I see Terrence Crawford putting the Swiss, the Dre, and the Apple beats on Canelo. Look, I watched it live, and it was amazing. So much underrated. Damn, you got to watch it live. Salute, my brother. I wish I could have been there to see that live. That was, what a great fight that was, man. That was a great fight. Very competitive. I know you must have enjoyed it from the first bell to the last, because that was a real good fight. Boxer Andy, Henry Armstrong really can be the second GOAT. He is old school too. I mean, you know how it is. We don't really see the possibility of GOAT until there's something to show us. Like With Henry Armstrong, you got to prove it to us. You got to start, stepping up in competition, continue to win in beautiful fashion. So there's things that have to happen before you put somebody in that category. Tajon, my top five: Ali, Leonard, Robinson, Mayweather, and Jones Jr. That's a heck of a top five. Heck of a top five. Luke, the people who supporting it, tell them how they feel if a transgender fight their daughter. That's what I'm talking about. We just mentioned that earlier. How would you feel about a transgender fighting your daughter? We spoke about that early. Tajon, Henry Armstrong is absolutely a GOAT. My peoples. Look, right now, boxing is gonna get really, really hot. Because we're talking about Chris Eubank versus Conor Benn. But before that fight, in only 8 days, we're gonna get Boots versus Stanionis. And I'm telling you, my peoples, I've been trying to tell ya, Boots versus Stanionis is gonna be a lot more competitive than people think. Stanionis is not there to get washed. He's not a cherry pick. He's not an easy fight. Stanionis is going to surprise a lot of people. I promise you, win, lose, or draw, this is going to be the fight that Stanionis is going to walk out of there with more fans. Remember I said that even if he loses, the people who never watched him, if he loses this fight, he's still going to walk out of there with new fans. Watch. But I don't like or respect the agenda. I don't like it either or respect it, my brother. I'm okay with people being who they want to be. But that agenda, I'm not with it. Deja la luz prendida, amor. Punisher, did my 2 comments post? Your last comment is they was pushing a couple of years a while back. But I don't like to respect a agenda. Don't like or respect the agenda. All I got for you, my brother, is don't like or respect the agenda, Punisher. Over and over, don't like or respect the agenda. Michael Walker, if Canelo loses, would that put Crawford up there as an all-time great? Honestly, if Crawford is able to beat Canelo, we're gonna have to start putting him in that conversation in the all-time. Because you got to remember, for you to be an all-time great, you got to do what just hasn't been done. Or you got to be at a level that just hasn't been in too much. Moving up multiple divisions to beat the face of boxing as the underdog when everybody thinking you're going to lose this fight, that's some all-time type of shit right there. We might have to bring him in that conversation. JJ's in the house. 1,200 to win 100. If you take Haney, and $100 to win, $650 if you pick Jose Ramirez. It's 12-1 underdog. I think that's too far away. I don't know. I think it should be closer than that. Taking into account the type of power Jose Ramirez brings to the table, I think it should be closer. A Boogie 616, Crawford already an all-time great. That will shut up the haters. I mean, Crawford is the first boxer to go undisputed in 2 divisions in the 4-belt era. There's some greatness in there already. Tajon, Crawford is already an all-time great, Michael. Punisher, D. Willer, nah. It's because they wasn't letting me post my comment. I had to chop it in parts. John Parham, who seen Oscar clap back Thursday? I didn't see it. I missed it. What did he talk about? By the way, I had heard Oscar was sick. So, I missed that clap back Thursday. Punisher. They was pushing that agenda heavy for a couple of years a while back. I mean, they still pushing the heavy now. Because, come on now. They trying to teach the next generation to wear purses. And that it's cool to wear dresses. And that it's cool to paint your toenails. All the things that we grew up seeing on women, they're showing the next generation that it's okay for men to do that too. They working on that real hard, overtime. Tajon, D, why isn't Crawford an all-time great? Luke, yes sir. Watching Tiara Browns was amazing. Good fight and experience with my daughter. She an up and coming boxer. Oh man, that's awesome. That's fire, brother. Being able to experience such a high level fight, such a high caliber fight, champions, two of the best in the division, and enjoy that with your daughter. That's something that you won't be able to put a price on it. That's amazing, my brother. Congratulations, and salute to you for bringing your daughter over there. And also, man, much luck to your daughter to doing, achieving her dreams, enjoying herself in boxing, and getting as far as she want to go. JJ's in the house. Yes, he Oscar sick. Haven't heard anything else yet. That's what I heard. That Oscar De La Hoya was not doing very well as far as his health. Tay John, his resume is good, D. Most fighters only have maybe 2 grades on their resume. Luke, my daughter is the one who made me start watching women's boxing. Thanks to her for showing me the greatness I was missing. Yeah, man, I'm glad your daughter was able to put you on, because women's boxing is on fire right now. There's a lot of women that look real good out there, that are doing their thing. Big fights are happening within women's boxing. Champions fighting each other. Women wanting to unify. Women wanting to go for undisputed. It's a beautiful thing. Women's boxing is a beautiful thing right now. They're in a good place. Punisher. Nah, they pushed it more heavy a while back. Now that it's normal, they still pushing it, but less all up in your face, but still heavy. That agenda, man. I don't know why they shoving that agenda down people's throats. Pause. And no Diddy all at once. Gabe Rivera, did you catch the Zepeda versus Farmer 2? What do you think about Zepeda moving forward and getting the Shakur fight? So look, Zepeda versus Farmer, I think Farmer, put up a good fight, but he got hurt. He hurt his hand. So from the moment that he just had one good hand, Farmer Zepeda started taking advantage of that. He was able to capitalize, put all type of hands on Farmer, and it played out as it should have. You go up against Zepeda with a hurt hand, you're going to fight him mostly with one hand. You're not going to win that fight. Zepeda's an elite level guy, but I do see Shakur beating him. I see Shakur outboxing him. Let's see if they make it. Let's see if they make that fight, because, they've been trying to, dance around the bushes and beat around the bushes with Shakur Stevenson. They've been said they were going to make that fight. So let's make it. I think Shakur is going to make easy work of him, to be honest. Zepeda's a very... I got a lot of respect for William Zepeda, but he not on that level to give Shakur Stevenson's problems where it's going to even look like he's going to beat him. I don't see it. John Parham, he just made a clapback yesterday, and he skipped 2 Thursday. So, must feel better. Glad to hear that, my brother. I'm glad to hear that he's better. JJ said that Oscar has a bad case of COVID. Damn, man. I hope he gets better. Punisher. Sometimes this app and other apps don't let you post certain things. Notice how my comment wasn't able to be posted until I chopped it up. There's things that they don't want people to be able to express. So much for freedom of speech, right? Shit. LLYY, I'll start watching women's boxing as well, and can tell you it's an amazing, and they actually fight, and amazing punches exchange. Yo, women's boxing is on fire, brother. Women's boxing is on fire. Y'all saw Michaela Meyer and Sandy Ryan just last weekend go at it. It was fireworks. What a beautiful fight to watch. Gabe Rivera Red. So we agree on that fight that Shakur will beat him. Yeah. Listen, William Zepeda is not gonna beat Shakur Stevenson. But I'm being real with y'all, my peoples. Ain't nobody beating Shakur Stevenson. Ain't nobody beating him. He beating each and every one of them. Whoever has the testicles to get in the ring with Shakur, they're gonna get beat. Because people don't want that action. They don't want it. They know how it plays out. John Parham. Well, he looked good in his video yesterday, so I'm not sure. We'll see. Because also you could not be feeling good and still, work yourself in to get it done, and maybe he's feeling like shit. But hopefully Oscar De La Hoya is gonna be okay. John Parham, women boxing be legit. That's what I be trying to tell people, bro. Women's boxing. If you're not watching women's boxing, you don't know what you're missing out. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm guilty of it. But that was a long time ago. I've been put onto women's boxing. I've been seeing what's going on. But before, I refused. I was like, this is too boring. This is too... Nah, man. Women is doing their thing out there. Punisher. Yeah. Where's the freedom of speech at? That's a great question, my brother. Let me not even answer that so they don't block my speech out here. Punisher. They can shove BS up our throats, but we can't say our piece. That's how it go. They're going to make you watch this and make you watch that. Put certain people in certain commercials. Make shows about certain people. But then if you talk about it, ooh, you're in trouble. Don't say nothing. John Parham, 556, bro, it's YouTube. Ain't no such thing. JJ's in there. That's exactly how the media doesn't let us communicate the way we want to. It happens, bro. We just gotta try to find a way to do the best we can with getting our message out there, saying our piece. Punisher. Even in games is crazy. I'm telling you, man, that agenda. But it looks like in the U.S., Donald Trump is making the right moves so they don't let that happen. They trying to not allow trans to compete versus women in any sport. Even in universities, colleges. They're like, nah, we're not having it. Not having it. You're going to allow this? We're going to withdraw funds. We're not going to give you whatever donations or whatever type of money we give you. We're not going to give it to you if you're going to do that mockery of the sport. Luke, I hope Davis versus Roach happens. It will be an amazing fight because both fighters will try their best to get the win. You know, that it's been so crazy the way it's played out because at first they both said they wanted the rematch. Then it looked like the rematch was in jeopardy because Tank Davis's team don't really want to do it. Then they said, okay, we're going to do this rematch. Then it's being reported that, Lamar Roach want his money and they don't want to pay him right, so it's in jeopardy. Now it's also being reported that Tank Davis may actually fight Keyshawn Davis because Bob Arum and Al Heyman are going to be doing business on Amazon Prime so that people can fight on Amazon Prime. So with Tank Davis, man, we just don't know what's going to happen, honestly. The last I heard is that he is going to give him the rematch on June 21st. We don't know if that's going to happen. I hope that we get that fight, though. Lamar Roach deserves that rematch, 100%. JJ's in the house. We might have to have some code words. Shit, might as well. Gabe Rivera, Serrano versus Taylor 3 with Alicia Baumgartner as co-main, big for women's boxing. That's a fact. That is a fact. And Serrano versus Taylor 3 is also going to be one of those women fights where you're going to see fireworks for the duration. A fight is going to break out right away on that one. I promise you guys. John Parham, Luke, the proof is happening. Is Floyd training Roach? Whoa. D. Willer, Tank winning if they fight again, which is why I don't want it to happen. You don't want it to happen because you think Tank is going to get his ass whooped. That's why. John Parham, Trump that. Punisher. But fuck them. Back to this boxing. I think Stanionis has a chance to be a better version of the last dude Boost fought. But I'm not sold on Stanionis' cardio later rounds. And can he himself take Boost punches? I can tell you right now, my brother. Eimantas Stanionis can take a shot. He has power in both hands. And he has very good ring IQ. He knows how to move. He knows how to get those angles. The guy can fight, bro. The guy can fight. And one thing we've seen Boots, he could get irresponsible with the defense and eat some shots. So what happens when he eats some big shots from Stanionis? We're going to see it. We're going to find out. Because it's going to happen. JJ's in their house. Oscar frequently has fights at Fantasy Spring Casino, and he hasn't been there for a bit. Hopefully, he gets back soon. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it'll happen soon. Hash Bash. Do you think Lamar just put a great performance only for one night? That's a very interesting question. We're gonna find out. We're definitely gonna find out when if they fight again or whenever he fights next. But we also have to consider that Lamar Roach is a fighter who he's a champion, a reigning champion in the 130 division, and it's just that we were not following him like that. A lot of us never watched a full Lamar Roach fight until he fought Tank Davis. Lamar Roach is a guy that I have seen in highlight videos. That's it. So, in highlight videos, obviously they just show you when you're winning or when you're doing good. You can't really gauge how good a fighter is from the highlight videos alone. And I think that's why we all underestimated Lamar Roach. We're gonna find out if he just had a great fight that one night in the rematch. I feel like he just got Tank Davis' number, bro. I've been telling ya. And the reason I say that is because look at the type of fight that it was. Lamar Roach didn't spend 12 rounds running with Tank Davis trying to chase him, trying to catch him. He actually walked down Tank Davis with 12 rounds. And every single time Tank Davis stood his ground, Lamar Roach stood his ground with him and traded leather. So, it felt to me like he got Tank Davis' number, bro. John Parham. I might block Tejon by accident. I took his comment because history didn't show him trolling. Damn, he gone. He's like Justin Timberlake. Gone. Gone. Gabriel Barrett. Andy Ruiz, did that look good one night? It happens. No. Let me tell you something. Andy Ruiz didn't look good just that night. Andy Ruiz looked good. He's always looked good. But after getting all that money and that big check with AJ, the second time around, he didn't look good. He showed up, like 20, 30 pounds heavier than in the first fight. And he just wasn't the same fighter. He didn't have the discipline to show up in the same physical condition that he showed up in that first fight. John Parham, if so, you can bring him back. My bad. I don't know how to bring him back. I don't know how to bring him back, my brother, to be honest. Let me see if I could go back. I don't know how to bring him back, bro. Okay, wait a minute. Tejon on high user. I think I brought him back. I think I may have brought him back. Tejon was unhidden. Yeah. I think he's back. Let's see. Oh, okay. Tejon, I'm not blocked. Okay. Good to have you on, my G. John Pound, Floyd helping Roach isn't a good thing for Tank. So it's official? Because I heard that he's helping him, but he's officially helping Roach, or they just like took a picture and shit? John Pound, did nothing unless you bet on a draw. JJ's in there has too many tacos for Andy. Yo, too many tacos and too much carne asada, bro. Real talk. Look, I wish if Andy Ruiz had stayed disciplined, he would have been Canelo Alvarez of his division. Yo, listen. Andy Ruiz is really a top level fighter. Andy Ruiz can fight. He's for real, my peoples. He just didn't have the discipline to keep that same energy, to keep that same focus. You saw it, yo. He was basically my peoples. Let me know if y'all can hear me now. Oh man, my computer. Let me know if y'all could hear me. I was getting a phone call. My computer ringing. Alright, my bad, fellas. I was getting a phone call on this same phone that I'm on. We'll have to work on getting that other camera so that won't happen to me. But I digress. Punisher. I like Tank, but I critique him a lot. But all I say about him is facts. But I say that to say that I'm in no way defending Tank. But I was thinking Roach could have had a good night. I've seen that happen. I agree. Listen, I also am someone who criticizes Tank for his opponent selection. I even feel like Roach was a cherry pick gone wrong. But, the way that the fight played out, it tells me that Lamar Roach is without a doubt not scared of Tank Davis. You didn't see no fear in Lamar Roach. He was there in his face. And this is the first time that we've seen a fighter frustrate Tank to the point where we saw the shenanigans. He's complaining to the referee. He's turning his back to his opponent. He's going to his corner. He's taking a knee. He's trying to bite Lamar Roach. He's shoving him down to the floor. There was a lot of things in that fight that were out of character for Tank Davis. A lot. Punisher. But it's different in the rematches. Not always. Sometimes the rematch plays exactly the same way. Sometimes that happens. Matter of fact, you don't have to go far. Look at AJ versus Usyk. Got pummeled in the first fight, and the rematch got pummeled exactly the same way. No difference whatsoever. Sometimes the rematch is exactly the same as the first one. John Parham. Tajan, I got trigger happy. I thought you was trolling. Should check your activity first. Andre, what's the deal, Andre? LLYY, I think this rematch is going to be crazy. Can't wait for it. Everyone's saying it could be in June. There is some leaks. Yeah, supposedly the rematch is set for June 21st. I even saw a report that said it's a done deal for June 21st, and they just trying to figure out the undercard, who's going to fight, on that card. But we shall see. It's a rematch that's going to be very, very anticipated, my people. A lot of people waiting for that rematch. And I remind y'all that I said this before. Lamar Roach does not need that rematch. Tank Davis is the one who needs it. Because that draw, a lot of people felt like Tank Davis was gifted that draw. They gave him that. He could have took a L on that night. Tank Davis could have had one loss on his record had the referee done his job. So, due to a mistake, Tank Davis has a draw on his record and not a loss. Due to a mistake. So you're the one who has to right that wrong. You need that rematch to show people that you can beat them. Hash Bass, Mosley versus Forrest. And Vernon had his number. Vernon Forrest had his number. And let me tell you something interesting about that fight. I was sure, because Mosley, look, that's how you know sometimes somebody got your number. Vernon Forrest was the underdog for the first fight. He upset Mosley, became the first guy to beat Sugar Shane Mosley. Right? They went for the immediate rematch, I think. I think it was an immediate rematch. And for the rematch, Mosley was the favorite again. He was the favorite for the rematch. And I was like, you know what? Mosley underestimated him, because we always say that shit. He underestimated him. In the rematch, he's going to do what he got to do. I watched the rematch, my people, live. Mosley got beat up exactly, even a little bit worse in the rematch. Javier Hernandez. Davis definitely lost that fight with Roach. He was not mentally prepared. Mentally, you could see that he got beaten by the fact that when you see a fighter get out of character and do things that they don't normally do and get frustrated, mentally they getting beat in the ring. Gay Rivera. Don't be surprised if he fights Loma versus Davis. They keep throwing that name. Yeah, they keep throwing that out there. Actually, I've seen a report where they said that Al Heyman doesn't want Tank Davis to do the rematch, that they want him to pursue a fight with Lomachenko. JJ Zendejas. Roach has his own stamp in boxing. Now doesn't need Tank anymore. That's it. The damage is done. The damage is done, my people. With what Lamar Roach did in that fight, he already gained mad fans, mad respect. His stock is way up. Opportunities left and right. That's it. Lamar Roach is on another level after that fight. Luke, I wish if pro boxers can be in the 2028 Olympics like other athletes from different sports, they can. Pro boxers are allowed. I mean, they haven't officially announced that, but they've already been allowing it. They've been allowing professional boxers to fight in the Olympics. A Boogie 616. Look at the Margarito and Cotto fight. It took brick gloves to stop Cotto. The rematch showed us the truth. That's a fact, my brother. That's a fact. And you know, it was never proven that he cheated against Miguel Cotto, but we saw how the rematch played out. We saw that. Tajon, I thought that Roach versus Tank fight was very, very close. It was close, but when that last bell rang, I felt like Lamar Roach won. I was surprised. I was upset when they said it was a draw. Posted about it right away. I did not like that. Javier Hernandez, I sparred mostly at the boys club in the 90s. He hit hard and never got tired. It was hard to fight him. Whoa, salute to you for stepping in there with Mosley. Even though it was in the 90s, he was younger, but you stepped in there with a lion. Tajon, no, Luke, Olympics should stay amateur as much as possible. Hash Bass. Tarver versus Roy, and Tarver had his number. Yeah, Tarver had his number for sure. For sure, my peoples. And, you know, there's also the notion that Roy Jones Jr. had already moved up to heavyweight to fight Andy, the quiet man. I forgot the heavyweight that Roy Jones Jr. beat. And then it was tough for him to move back down and be himself again. But, yo, Antonio Tarver, the Magic Man, had his number. Punisher. I've seen an edit of fighters fighting like straight dogs with blood all their eyes, and that wasn't complaining. Come on, man. We saw Tim Tszyu fight with blood all over his whole face for 12 rounds. TP Versal. Bro. Say, come on, TP Versal. Bumbuckla. We talking boxing over here. Javier Hernandez. At the press conference, Tank let Roach get into his mind. Yo, Lamar Roach was mentally better prepared than Tank Davis. John Parham. I never was a Tarver fan. John Parham. Both from Florida, but Florida love Jones. I'm going to tell you something, man. Honestly, Antonio Tarver is somebody who sometimes I talk to privately on IG. He's a cool guy. But real talk, man, I didn't like him. Like, that second fight when he said, Roy, you ready? You're not going to have excuses this time? For that second fight when he said that at the beginning of the fight, yo, I hated him after that because Roy Jones Jr. was my guy. So seeing my guy get beat up by this dude that was so cocky, I was so mad, bro. Real talk. Underrated Will. What's up, Jay Smith? What's the deal, my brother? You already know what it is, man. We talking boxing. We doing what we do. Javier Hernandez, thank you. I won 4 rounds. Then another fighter went 4 rounds. Then I go another 4 rounds. He was young. His father was young. We had a good time in the gym. That's fire, bro. Fighting somebody, you know, having the opportunity to spar with somebody at that level, that's fire. Me, myself, I actually had the opportunity to spar with Agapito Sanchez. Agapito Sanchez was a world champion, a Dominican fighter who used to also train in Gleason's gym while I was there. And you could look him up. He actually fought Manny Pacquiao in Manny Pacquiao's prime, yo, when Manny Pacquiao was like 23 years old or something like that. And he fought him, and the fight went to a draw. They actually went to a draw. It was a close fight. He was putting hands on Pac-Man. And I got to spar with that dude. Luke, the 2004 to 2015 era was amazing for me as a boxing fan. It was the best ever to me. 2024 to 2015, that was great. But I like the late 90s too, my brother. The late 90s with Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, of course. At the heavyweight division, that was crazy. The late 90s, the 90s in general was crazy at the heavyweight division. Then we also had Tito Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, Sugar Shane Mosley, Fernando Vargas. Yo, the late 90s was crazy. Javier Vargas. Agapito Sanchez was a very, very tough fighter. I watched him give Manny a good fight. I'm telling you, I sparred with Agapito Sanchez, and my trainer had to pull me out of there because he put some hard shots on me to the body, which I thought I was going to be able to take those, but my coach was like, nah, let's get you out of there, son. But I don't know if you guys know this, Agapito Sanchez, he died a tragic death, man, here in Dominican Republic. A police officer tried to talk to his wife, like act stupid, like, what's up, baby, what's up? And they defending his woman, like, yo, what's good, bro? That's my woman right there. I think the police officer was drinking that night, was a little bit drunk, pulled out a gun and shot him right there on the spot. And he ended up dying. So Agapito Sanchez, man, great fighter. And, he was taken down like that. My peoples, I'm about to get the hell out of here. But before I do that, I want to remind y'all, the next big fight that we got coming up is Jaron Ennis versus Eimantas Stanionis. That's the 14th. That's in 8 days, my people. 8 days. So, you don't want to miss that fight. I'm going to be calling it live. You know it. Some of you already see me calling them live. Y'all know how I get down. Nobody does it like I do it. So make sure y'all tune in, my people. Those who haven't hit that like button, stop playing with me, man. Hit that like button. If you haven't hit that like button, shame on you. Hash Bass. In the late 90s, the heavyweight division belt switched too much. But that tells you that everybody's fighting everybody. It's hard for one guy to keep a belt for a long time if you're fighting all the top dogs. But my peoples, I'm about to get the hell out of here. Shout out to Hash Bass. Shout out to John Parham, Michael Walker, Gabe Rivera, Luke. Appreciate you coming through, Luke. Real talk. Underrated Will, Javier Hernandez, JJ Zendejas, everybody who always show up, show me love, ready to go to work, ready to talk boxing. I appreciate you, my peoples. And y'all already know what it is, man. I'm Jay Smith. This is Box Center. We headed for #1. We are going to be the #1 boxing podcast, boxing show, boxing live, period, point blank. It's only the inevitable, my peoples. Y'all already know what it is. Your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. I'm out of here. That's it. I got to go eat. Salute, my peoples. One love to everybody, man. Yeah.